I'm Patrick Bailey with whiteboardcoder.com. Today is February 11th, 2018, and I have a broken dryer. So I have a dryer that's actually functioning, it's turning on, but nothing's drying. So first let me show you what the model number is. So if I pop this open, we can go way down here and get a light. And this is a Samsung, and you can see down here is the model number. There's the model number, DV48H7400EW. Oh, there we go.
There we go.
I guess I'll reread it. So this model number happens to be DV48H7400EW/A2. And so my suspicions are something with the heating element went on. And looking through some things and looking on the internet, it looks like it's probably the fuse. And that is actually located inside, so I need to start taking the whole thing apart to get to it. Okay, so I already pulled it out, but what you need to do at this point is be very safe. So I unplugged it from the wall, the power, but also I didn't think about this, because I didn't actually install this myself, that it actually has water to the dryer because it's got a steamer. So I followed that back, and it depends on how your setup is, but usually you'll have something, I'd get back there, but it'd be hard to see. But back there, all your water goes back there, and there should be some shutoff valve. Now I shut it off, but just to be extra safe, I shut off the water in the house, and I drained it. And then I went down here, and all I did was, down here on this particular model, there's water down here hooked in. So I unscrewed that, which is going to leak a little bit, that's why the towel, even with all the water off, and I just drained the last of it out. Now in my case, all the water's off, so I'm just going to take this guy and stick him up somewhere. I don't know, hook him to something so he doesn't fall down. For now, I'll figure something better. But now that's aside, so the next thing I really want to do, that you have to do to get to this, is to take this top off. And so as best I can see, there should be two screws. There should be one right here, if I'm right, that screw, and the other guy over here. So I'm going to get that taken off here. And looking back here, this thing is very dirty and messy. And if the thermal fuse is blown, some people are saying it's because it's been strained. And so it could be it's clogged back here. As a result, it got too hot. And that thermal fuse is a safety fuse. So if things go too crazy in there, it'll just kind of shut off. So it may be all this is just too dirty. So I'm going to, once I get this all apart, aside from fixing it, I'm going to go back and clean everything out of here and out of the duct. So let's see if I can move this at all, or if I'm wrong. Or if I'm going to have to move something else out first. Nope, I could be wrong. Maybe I have to remove the... I may have to remove this unit first. Try that. Maybe something else in there. Here, the electronics are in here. Let me take these two screws out. Figure this guy out. Okay. Well, I don't want to get too crazy with you. Could be.
You've got a couple screws on the inside there holding it.
Yeah, I think that's just holding it. These parts down. And maybe they just need to get in here and work a little bit. That's all it was. I don't think, no, you didn't have to take this off. There we go, just had to get something in there to move it a little bit. Now this we don't need to take off, so I don't really need to take any wires off. I just need to get this a little bit out of the way because there's some screws in the front is my understanding. So let's see what I gotta do. Ah. Okay.
Nice.
I was hitting the wall. That's why, but I had to push it forward just a little bit and pull it off. Okay, so on to the next step here, which I'll just do right now. Okay, so let me turn this around some more so I can get to these properly. So I have to take a few screws apart. There should be one, two, wait, that's to the front door. So I need to take this whole front assembly off. So I think I need to take 1, 2, 3 off, but also there's some in the front I need to take off as well. So I'm going to take the front ones off first. There should be 3. That's my understanding. There should be 1, 2, 3. So I take those 3 off, then the 3 off the top, and then I should be able to take this whole door assembly off. But you got to be a little careful because there are some electronics attachments to it, so don't just hastily rip it off because you'll have a problem. Go slow. Well, at least I'm going to, because I've never done this before. Okay, how are those 3? Two. Okay. Let's see what kind of damage I can do. So I'm going to close the front door, at least mostly. I might use it to get a grip. And then, let's see what I can do. May need this. Ah, it's kind of hooked right there. Just need to pop it over that guy a little bit. Ah, that worked. That worked. Ooh, perfect. Perfect. Okay, so we got wires. Ah, there's one here. I think.
Yes.
Just trying to see if there's a lock on it or not. Let me take my glove off. I can't quite feel. Feels like it's stuck, but I don't feel a locking mechanism to it. Oh, yeah, just me being slow. Let me see anything else. No. There we go. Okay, I'm going to take this, set it aside for the moment. Now, I don't need to really mess with the top at the moment, so I'm going to kind of put it back where it should be, because it does provide some stability maybe. Okay, so now on to the next step. Okay, on to the next part, which is kind of the last take apart part, is to actually get that whole, I guess, heating unit out. I don't know what they call it exactly. But in here, if you can see, let me get this light in here or something. Okay, in here is the actual heating unit I need to pull out. It's on a stand. The easiest way that I've seen someone else do is take this stand off first, and then you can pull this guy out, but this guy is plugged into many things. So, let me see. With that in mind, I will start to pull this guy apart. And there's just dust balls everywhere. Let's take one up here. It's probably just a good idea to, I don't know if you could, if you thought about it, take your dryer apart every couple of years. But who's going to do that? I don't know, we just wait till it breaks, right? Okay. Okay, now I got this bottom unit I need to get out. So he was attached right there, so I pulled him up and he got out of that little hole. And then back there he's attached somehow. Let me see what I can do. How are you attached? Huh? Yeah, it's hooked in there somehow. I'm just trying to figure it out. That's why you want gloves, otherwise I probably would have cut myself by now. Okay, you're not attached by anything. You're just being a butthead. Fairly certain. Well, it looks like it's... Okay, I gotta figure that one out. How are you? That's back there.
Come look at this angle.
Huh?
You might get a better look if you look this way.
I can't see all the way back there right now. It looks like it's in there somehow. Let me see if I can carefully feel with my fingers. I see it's... I don't know. Looks like you should be able to yank it out. Looks like you should be able to pull it up. I almost got it.
I see it attached to the bottom.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I just kind of... I over-tweaked it. I have bent it a little bit, which is nothing in the world. I can bend it back, but there's the feet. So I kind of had to do that and pull it out.
Like,
but I didn't like it, so I just bent it.
like the game of life, when you put the little house in, you have to put them.
That's it. Okay, now that that's out, I should be able to pull this guy out. Okay.
Oh, it is attached to the bottom.
I'm going to unattach this. Let's see, I can push that. There we go. So so much room in here. Okay, well I'm starting to get, I gotta start to pull these things off. I think I'm getting, well, different attachments like,
Sensors.
this is, I'm guessing, this is probably the power. This is probably the sensor, and that's the fuse. I remember looking that up, that's the fuse. So, we can just, there we go. There we go, pop those guys out. Alright. There we go. Whew. So I'll get all these apart in a second, but basically what's going through is, I don't know if you can see in here, but there's heating elements. So that's what gets hot and the air passes through. And so you got power, and then you have a temperature gauge, I believe, and then you have a fuse. If it gets too hot, it could blow, and kind of like your fuse box, and then it'll just kill the heat, so you're safe. Now the rest of the stuff will still work, it just won't get hot. But this is, unlike a fuse box, you can't just set it back. You have to replace the whole thing. So let me get that apart, and I'll show up some closer pictures of it here. Okay, so I got the whole thing apart and up here. And I want to show you the next thing that's important to do is if you have a multimeter, you need to test it. So on here, there's a thing called well, who knows what kind of multimeter you have. But usually in multimeter you have something like this, which is called continuity. And so this one just makes a noise, thank goodness. So I can sit here, and continuum just means can there be a connection between them two. So here, get a little beat. So I can go here and hit, because there's metal between these two. So just has to be some kind of, so I could take this, which is metal, I got continuity. So what we got here is we got three things. This is the fuse. So if the fuse is blown, there's no power will go through. But right now, watch. My fuse is fine. So in my case, my fuse is fine. So it's one of these other two. I happen to know which one, but this one is my this is checking the temperature. This is my thermometer. So this one is fine. This one is to the actual heating elements, and nothing. So I need to take that apart. And so that's my problem in my case. Otherwise, if you're, I thought it might have been the blown fuse, but apparently it's actually the coils or something. So I'm going to go, this thing comes apart, so I'm going to take it apart and see what I can see. So here we go, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So there's quite a few. We'll just bet you this is just a big dusty mess in here. The other side here. Two. Three. Okay, let's see what we see. Oh, well, these guys are still helping it stay attached. Let me take, I'll just take one each. Okay, here comes some dust bunnies. Let's stick that down there for a second. Ah, well, there you go, that screws in real nicely when those bolts are in, aren't they? Okay, let me take this guy off so I can get it out. It's burnt out. I don't see. Ah, there we go.
What?
Right there.
Oh, looky there.
Yep, so the coil has burnt out. Now, I am not going to connect them back together. I'm going to buy a new one. Because this is worn out, you know. I'm going to go get a new...
Can you put a piece of white paper behind that so we can see it better?
Sure, let me tear off a piece.
Thank you.
Okay, let's see if
Hard
we
to
can...
see with that.
There you go. So,
Looky there.
you know, just overheated in some little spot, got worn out, and toast. So, need to take the last little bit of this guy out. There you go. Let's see how this comes out. Looks like it comes out. I think. Yeah, figure that one out. Those. I'm not quite sure how those come out. I have to go figure that one out. But I need to get those out, apart, get this out, and go order a new one. Okay, so I found the heater element on Amazon, ordered it, and I'll put a link to it in the show notes. It's only 17 bucks at the time when I bought it here. So I got the box delivered to me, so now I'm going to go downstairs, open this up, see if it matches, and hopefully get it installed and all working again. Okay, so I got my piece. So here's the old one, which of course is all nice and burnt out. And then here's the one I just got from Amazon. And we can see, is that the right side? Yeah, you can see they match up. So it looks like I'm good. Okay, we got the two on the end, so I'm just going to take this and put it back together. So I got these two pieces, and those are going to hook up there. So let's see. So here we are. So there's the fuse, the temperature, and then where this guy goes. So I'm going to have to put this right there. And it lines up. So, good. As expected. Now with this guy, you can see these slits down here? So this is going to be a little tricky, but if you look at this, you can see it's got this little neck here. So it's got these. Right there, and right there. What they did before, that's why it's hard to get out, is you're going to put it all the way through and you're going to take one of these and bend it down. It doesn't come back out. So I'll do that here. All the way in. Let me go grab one of my little tools. Here we go. A little pinch nose plier. And so we can see right there. Just bend one down. Don't need to break it, but now it's not going to come out. And I'll do it with the other one. Good. And then let me get one of these screws that belong over there. And screwdriver. And then get this back together. Let's see this side, that side, yeah. Make sure it all lines up. You don't want to tighten too tight and accidentally, strip something. So I'm just getting them snug. There we go. There's those two. And there's... Oops. That's being a butt head. Just not line up as well as the other one. But I'll get it. I think I got it now. There we go.
Did you clean it out?
Yes. In between getting this, I went through and cleaned everything out. I went inside and vacuumed everything out, washed it out with my hand a little bit. On the back, I wiped everything down, wiped it and pulled everything out. Just because you want to start clean, to make life easier. But also in this case, I don't think it was clogged and overworking itself. It just, I might have thought that more if the fuse had blown. It just probably got old, wore itself out a little bit, and broke. But even so, it's, clean it. If you clean it, it should last longer. Okay, then I got two more, which are going to go here and here.
Yeah, that one's going to be tough. Oh, or not.
Okay, I think I am reassembled. I have heating elements in there. They look all nice and clean. So now let me just reverse my procedure and get this thing back in. Okay, now I've got to get this all back in here again. And it's going to end up like this. So here's this hook. That's going to hook in the back, and I'll show that in a second. It's going to go like this. And then this guy is going to be, there's a little slit right here. You can see that. And that's going to go attached to this guy with that slit. There's a slit right there where they're going to match eventually and do like that. So this will be a little origami trick. But when this goes in, if you look in here, you'll see there's three slits. One.
You're going to have to hold that.
Okay. There's one slit, two slit, three slit. And this is going to go in eventually like this, where those go down and then back down like that, kind of like my wife says, one of those game pieces in the game of life where you kind of slide it in. But in order to do this, I think we need to put this one in first and hook it in, which is going to be a bit of a chore. Oh, well, we gotta, as we do it, we need to plug everything back in, don't we? Let's see what we got here. So, we're going to have to, I got myself a little messed up, huh? I should have marked them better to know which, well, it's just a, should be my hot coming in. Doesn't matter. Holy. Eh. Well, I'm gonna better stop here and go review my video just before that I made before to see how these plug in to make sure I'm not messing anything up. So I'll stop right here and get that reviewed and make sure I have them organized correctly. Okay, I came close. So let's go through all this. So we got red goes here, the main red coming in here. Now if you look on here, there's a blue line that comes in main too. Now that needs to actually go opposite. I put it in the wrong spot. It actually needs to go right there. So I was close. And then this black is going to go to this black, to this guy, and that blue goes to there. So we got a circuit. So we come down here, power goes through, comes out, goes here, goes through, comes out, goes through, come here, and goes out. So yeah. And that's what was in my video before. So close, but no cigar. Okay, so let me go stick this in. I think I might need to, I don't think I have enough maneuvering unless I take these guys out. Okay, so let me put that back together again. With red there, blue there, yep. And now back in here I gotta hook it. Which is going to be a little tricky.
The film. It's so shadowy.
Oh yeah, I don't think you're going to be able to. You're not going to be able to film that, but the fact is you got to get it in that hole, which wasn't that hard.
Oh, it's back there.
Yeah, it's way back there. So there's a hole back there. So that wasn't.
Did it twist it or anything, or it just
No,
goes
it hooks in. You got to go down and in.
Oh, got it.
But it hooked in, so I call that good. Now I got to get this stand in.
You meant on the floor.
No. So we gotta get. Oh, look at that. And hook in that front too. Boom. And then, I'm bunking heads. And I gotta line that up and get that in there. Ah. No, it's fine. Just.
Your gloves?
No, I'm okay without the gloves right now, but let me... Let me see that light. It's kind of hard. I think I can still... Yeah, I can still maneuver it. It's a little tricky getting it all lined up properly. Just trying to get that little wire in there. Come on. There we go. Aha, hooray. Okay. So, looks like we're in.
Oh,
I
it's
just
a
gotta...
lot more stout this time.
Yeah, I gotta...
You see this?
Yeah, see it. Now I gotta... screw stuff in.
So maybe you should put the platform in first.
No, absolutely not.
No?
Because you're not going to get it in.
Oh, okay.
If you put the platform in first, you are not getting this in.
Okay.
Or at least, it's going to be way more difficult. Well, no, yeah, you got to put that in first. I don't see how you would do it so well. Here, I gotta scooch a little bit. That's okay. Okay, and last screw in here. And
Sorry.
oh maybe that's not for that. Okay. Hook these guys back together. They were just in the way. They're just there. Okay. So, next I gotta go check to make sure where this screw goes. Which I think goes here, otherwise it goes in the front door. But we're back together, and so I'm gonna put everything back together and then flip it on. Okay, so my last little screw down here does go down here, so there's that 3 screws down here. 1, 2, 3. It's nice to have videos, sometimes you can see what you did. Okay, so there we go. All that gets us plugged back in. And next we gotta get this door back on, which will be a little interesting. So I'm going to get these screws out of the way and get this out of the way, because I need to probably lift this back up as I put it back on. Only so much room to maneuver in here. Okay, so this is going to have to I think I got it. I'm going to have to hook in because there's 2 feet down there. There's 2 little, see those little silver bits right there and right there?
Oh,
All the way at the bottom.
the way down.
Yeah, so that should hook in. Okay, hook in, and then I have this guy. I need to plug him back in here eventually. But I need to get this pulled back so I can do all this maneuvering. And so, to get this guy plugged in, nothing too special about it, just hook it in. And then here we got these lips, these little knobs here. So we're gonna push it and snap them into both into place. And then we have 3 screws up here and 3 down there. So I'll do the 3 up here first. One. 2. Probably should have my gloves on. I didn't cut myself, but I might have. Okay, I'm gonna put this back. There we go. Back in place. I gotta scooch out a little bit. And I got 3 screws in here.
Is that the other side down?
Well, it's not, but it doesn't affect this.
Oh, good.
Doesn't affect what I'm doing right now. Okay, so there's that guy. And then one here. And the last one for the door. Right there. Okay, so the front's on. Now I just gotta secure this top.
Don't grab it by the top.
Yeah, don't grab by the top. Good advice. that down there. Yeah, it gets hooked on that little weird ledge there. So now I gotta slowly there we go. Whew. Okay. Then we got this guy, which I never should have taken off. I didn't have to take this guy off. That would have been fine, leaving that one on. Let's see my three screw. Okay. Let me get this guy back on here. And that guy back on. A little misaligned here for some reason. There we go, maybe. Okay, then next thing I do is, because this has a steamer, it's got water. Now the water's all shut off and drained, so I should be fine. I just need to get this guy, well, okay, it's mostly drained.
Oh.
No, there's just a little bit of water that was in there, so it's not. Yeah, oops. That's why it was up there. I'm not going to tighten it very tight. You don't need to. I don't need to gorilla it to get much of a seal. Okay. So I'll get make sure we're all nice and dry. Then I'll go do some tests here. Now I eventually need to go hook this back in here, but before I do that I'm going to plug it in and run some tests here and make sure it's working. Okay, I tried it, it's working. So here I just turn it on. I turned it on to just normal. Oh, I paused it. So it kicked on. I don't have it all hooked up yet, but I can feel the hot air coming out. That's warm. So I'd call that a success. The only thing we noticed is there's that little, sometimes when you get something new you get a little burn smell going on as it burns off some of the chemicals from the factory or something. And I'm sensing a little bit of that, but it's not enough to worry me. So now the next thing I'll do, and I'm not going to film this, is I need to hook that back up to that. And it's kind of a little worn out. So I'm going to go, I have a new one, I'm just going to readjust it and make a nicer one, make it nice and clean and hook it on a little bit better than what it was before. But we're fixed. Dryer's fixed. So for only 17 bucks, I'll take that. Thanks for watching. I hope you liked the video. If you did, please give it a like. To subscribe, just click the subscribe button. Also, you can follow me on Twitter under the handle @whiteboardcoder.com. View any code I may have thrown up as a gist at GitHub under the username PatmanDenver, or check out my blog site at whiteboardcoder.com.